I'm Lauren from Pack Hacker, and in this video we're taking a detailed look at the TOM BIHN Trinity, which I've been testing for the last 2 weeks. If you found this video helpful, hit subscribe so we can keep making content to help you travel smarter. Let's dive in. Looking at this bag, there are a few different ways to carry it, and that determines the orientation of the bag itself. So if you look at it this way, this is like a briefcase carry mode. There are 2 carry handles on the top here. They're super well padded and thin, which I like because when you have the 2 handles together, it basically feels like one wide handle. Sometimes bags will have 2 wide handles, and then it's really only comfortable to grab one at a time. So that's really nice. These 2 handles do cover this zipper track, so they do separate so that you can open up that center compartment, which we'll get into in a little bit. But when it's oriented like this, the TOM BIHN logo is upright, I guess you can say. And then there is also backpack carry mode, which when it's in backpack carry mode like this, you can see that the logo is shaped a little bit sideways. So it depends on how you prefer to carry it, which we'll get into the different carry modes comfortability in a little bit. But overall, the outside of this is pretty simple. The biggest thing that I noticed with this was how loud these zippers are. So I'm gonna shake it really quick. You can really hear yourself walk. So no matter where I put these zippers, they were really, really jingly. TOM BIHN does give you zipper pulls that you can put on these. I don't find that they help significantly enough to warrant having the zipper pulls all over them as well. But that is definitely a personal preference. Your mileage may vary. But that was the biggest thing that I noticed with this, with how many pockets there are. They were just super, super loud. There's also a luggage pass-through on the back here, so if you wanted to use this as your personal item with some carry-on luggage or something like that, that is a really great shout. This bag is really well designed for if you wanted to do like overnights, or if you have a decent amount of stuff that you like to carry on a day-to-day basis. This is going to work super, super well for that. So I would say in terms of like personal item carry, this is a great option for that, if that is something that you're looking for. We also have a couple of different carry handles around here. We have these like just kind of simple nylon. That means that you can just like quickly grab this from either side, or you can grab it from both and use it to move it from side to side, or quick grabs out of a compartment or something like that. So that's pretty cool. And then with these backpack straps, we have a little hanger here, so you can hang it on the back of a door or something like that if you're going to be heading to the bathroom and you wanted to keep it off the ground. As for the harness system, this is super simple. So you can see these backpack straps are just pretty thin and really, really flexible. They kind of feel like an afterthought. In terms of carrying this bag, I would say this is like the primary way you carry it, because these do come with the bag. They unclip down at the bottom, which I really like. I think that's cool to have the the strap so easy to remove, just like with a little clip. You're not worried about a gatekeeper, and then the clip stays out of the way. This back panel here isn't particularly padded. It's got like a little bit, but nothing too crazy. And then you do have a sternum strap on a little rail system to give you a little bit of support if that's what you need. And then say you wanted to tuck these backpack straps away, you can do that as well. And those just go in the back panel. Or you can remove them entirely using this gatekeeper clip. So it's kind of up to you. This back pocket here you can use as a separate pocket if you wanted to remove these straps entirely, or if you wanted to carry it by the handle like we talked about earlier, that's fairly comfortable. Or you can buy the separate strap, and this is their absolute shoulder strap, which you attach to either end here. There's 2 little loops, little kind of plasticky loops, kind of hard to see, but there they are. And this is how you would carry it, more like a briefcase, but this is a separate add-on, so it doesn't come with the bag. But I do really like carrying it this way in particular. I thought it was very comfortable as a brief. This is the bag in backpack mode. So it's pulling me back a little bit. You can see it's hanging and sagging a little bit. It's almost like it's top heavy almost, it feels. And this is tightened pretty much as it'll go for me. And even with this sternum strap, I don't really feel like it's taking a ton of weight off of my shoulders. With the size that this bag is, it's not that big of a deal, because you're not really gonna be filling this up super, super heavy. I do have this loaded out as much as possible, really, but it's just not the most comfortable. The shoulder strap itself is pretty beefy and comfortable, so it felt like it distributed the weight well enough, and then you can put it on the other side or just a single side, and I just felt like it held the bag a little bit better because those shoulder straps were so thin and minimal. It just felt a little bit sleeker this way and more comfortable. Plus it orients the bag so that the Tom Biihn logo is face up, which is pretty good. There are a lot of pockets around this bag, but there are only a few that are designed for smaller items. So we're gonna look at those really quickly. On the front here, we have 3. We have 1, 2, and then 1 across the top. With these side ones, I'm gonna get into these really quick. This side one here, if you have this in backpack mode, this is gonna be facing down. So this is filled with gear that I found this pocket the most useful if I was going to be carrying this bag like in that duffel or like crossbody messenger mode. But this pocket is a little bit on the larger side. I just have a little notebook in here. I didn't find myself using this a ton. I mostly use this top pocket here or this pocket on this side because of the fact that if it was in backpack mode, that would be facing the downward way. So opening up the other side here, you can see that it's pretty much the same pocket. I just have a phone in there. That's good if you want to do like a wallet or something like that. These are really great for just like quick grab items. And then we have the top pocket. So if you look at this stitching right here, this stitching indicates the size of either one of these pockets. So this pocket here only goes down to this stitching edge, and then if you were to go in this pocket, it would go all the way over here. So that kind of gives you an idea of depth. They're not equal, like dead center in this bag. They are a little bit different, which I personally like because like if you had some bulkier layers or something, you're like gloves or something you want to put in this pocket, you have more room to do that. And then here, if you put your phone in here, it's not going to like fall all the way down to the bottom. So little design features. There's also O-rings kind of across the board in this pack. There, you see them in here, and then they're also in this pocket here. So if you have those additional Tom Biihn accessories, you can keep all of your small gear organized that way, which is pretty cool. So in this pocket, we have a key leash. This comes with the bag as well. It's pretty roomy, flexible. I like the Tom Biihn key leashes just in general. I think they're pretty sturdy and just nice to use. And that functions just kind of goes in this pocket here, and then we have a couple of pen slots and then another pocket where I just sort of kept my wallet. So the rest of the space is technically open to pack as you want. It's just a little bit like thin. If you shove your hand in there, it's really easy to lose stuff. So like if I had this little notebook in there, it just kind of falls and gets lost at the bottom. But if you wanted to do some extra stuff in this front pocket, you definitely have the space to do so. It does depend on how much you have these other pockets, these main compartment pockets packed out though, which we'll get into in a second. And then on the back here, we have this pocket. This is actually where those shoulder straps were attached. So I removed them completely so you can see it's just like an empty pocket in here. And so this gives you like some extra storage space if you want. And then there's like a little like access to the frame sheet, which you could technically use as like a security pocket if you wanted to. I guess I wouldn't call it a frame sheet. It's just more of like access to the padding. There's like very minimal padding on this side here, which is pretty nice, just gives you a little bit of extra comfort. But the rest of the pockets come into play in these 3 zippers here, which we will get into now. Overall, this bag has 21 liters of storage space. So I'm gonna move kind of this other stuff off to the side here, and we're gonna go through these individual pockets one by one. So I'm gonna start off actually with this center pocket while everything is all loaded out. This center pocket, these are all YKK zips, as I mentioned earlier. The center pocket only goes to, I don't know, it's probably like 2 to 3 inches down from the top there on either side. And this opens up, and this is essentially your laptop compartment. So this fits up to a 16-inch device. The way that they have this designed is that as you pack out these pockets in these other compartments here from like either one of these zippers, it sort of compresses in, which then gives you a little bit of extra stability with your laptop. So you can see that if I were to take this out, you can see that this side is a little bit flatter because I have less items in here, whereas this pocket is pretty much packed out to as much as you can fit in there, and this is a little bit tighter. So if I were to put my laptop in here, it just adds a little bit of extra security. There's no false bottom or anything like that, so like if you were to have your device in this pocket, it technically can go all the way to either edge. So that's something to keep in mind, but it does feel fairly secure. And then you have a little bit of extra space in the center if you wanted to store additional items, but I usually didn't because I found that the rest of this bag had enough space for me to store everything. So I'm gonna leave that open just for quick and easy referencing, but let's go to this front compartment. So just behind this entire like front pocket organization system, we have this, it technically opens clamshell, which I'll get into in a second, but we have some O-rings in here for attaching gear. And then we have a packable jacket and a tech kit. So, or sorry, a toiletry kit. So you can use this sort of as your like dump pouches, or if you wanted to put like extra layers in here, like a hat and gloves or something like that. And for quick access during the day, you don't have to open that up clamshell. You can just open it up a little bit, get quick access, and then close it back up again. But if you wanted to open it clamshell, this water bottle pocket is fairly roomy. It can fit up to, I think, a 36-ounce water bottle. But, you know, as you can see, a little Hydro Flask, I believe this is the 18-ounce one. It just kind of flops around in there, but it feels pretty secure. But if you were to take all these pouches out, you could just, there's a little, I'm gonna show you actually. There's a little zipper track here. And so there's a zipper pull on one side. You open that up and then you can detach that, and then this opens up completely clamshell. So if you wanted to, you could just lay this flat if you don't want that extra organization, and then you don't have to worry about it. You can just put like, you can load your, let's say you just wanted to load it up that way, or you have some extra cubes or extra layers or things like that, then you can definitely take advantage of that. I like that. I think that's a really smart feature to add, is where it's like, you get the organization if you want it, but if you don't want it, then you don't need to worry about it or anything like that. Having a bit of logistical issues here. Oh, that's why. So you unzip it from there or zip it back up there, and then you are all good to go. So it's nice and easy to just kind of get however you want it. And then we have this back panel here. So this opens like the front, fully clamshell. There's no additional pockets or anything, or like zippered mesh pockets or anything like that. This is essentially just where you would put all of your items. So this, I have a packing cube filled with clothes, not completely packed, but it is fairly loaded up. You can see there's, you know, not a ton of space left, and then an extra layer here. So like I said a little bit earlier, this is a really great option if you're doing like an overnight, or if you're carrying a couple extra layers or something like that. But it is fairly shallow. So you can see there's like a couple inches of storage here, and then you do have these straps that help you, you know, tighten things down. Like if you wanted to keep something like looser layers secured, I would definitely lean more towards using pouches in this compartment, just because once you open this up, everything flies everywhere. But it's kind of up to you whether or not this is super functional for you. It's not quite a travel backpack. It's not quite a day pack, not quite a messenger. It's kind of a bunch of things in one. It's nice to be able to change up how you want to use it, but it is on the pricier side at the time of this review. So you need to kind of decide if that's something that's going to be super useful for you. But it does have a lot of versatility in the way that it's designed. Just depending on your functionality, this could be a really great option. So there you have it, the Tom BIHN Trinity. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel, and we'll see you in the next one.